What's up? How you doing? Here we are again. It's meal time. Tonight we're gonna cook meatballs on the grill. Tasty meatballs. You can't just have 10 of these. You gotta have a lot. And gonna have a little bit of beer. One with the meal. This is from the Czech Republic. Pilsner Urquell. I don't know if you pronounce it like that, but we'll go with that. This is the original Pilsner beer. Oh, might have to take a look at that. So we're gonna try that out. Put the food up there and cook it. So when I was in the 5th grade, there was always something going on, always something. And if anything happened in the school, I'm talking about something bad, they always suspected me. They're like, why don't you talk to him, find out if he had something to do with it. And so they would always come to me and they'd say, did you do, so I was on their radar. And I didn't help myself either by doing certain things. So one time I went to a swamp and there were frogs everywhere in this swamp. And I got a blue container with a top on. And I went and collected these frogs, and I had a bunch of them in the container. The next day, school, I bring the frogs in, and I have them with me in this container until lunchtime. And then I decide I'm going to call over the girls, and I'm going to show them what I have in my blue container. And they gather around me. And in those days, we didn't go to a cafeteria. We had lunch in class, and the teacher would vanish to probably the teacher's room. So I have these girls all around me, and I open up the box, and the frogs do not stay in the box. They all, at the same time, simultaneously jump out. And they spread everywhere, you know, and all the girls are screaming. They're up on their desk. Matter of fact, there's a scene from E.T. where I think something happens like that. But another wimpy car going by. But those frogs were like frogs given by the school for dissection. Now I brought these frogs in on my own, and I didn't have the school's permission. So anyway, the frogs are all over the classroom jumping around, and the girls are on the desk screaming, and I'm trying to calm them down because I know even if it wasn't me with the frogs, the first person they would blame would be me. So another car going by. So I was thinking that any second now some teacher's going to come in here and say, what's all the screaming about? But that didn't happen because they were all in the teacher's lounge. Anyway, all of a sudden lunchtime is over and we're all in our desks, and I'm nervous because I know any second a frog is going to jump in the aisle or something, and somebody's going to say, that's him, he brought him in. And I'm nervous. And I don't know what's going to happen now because I know that it's only a matter of time. But I don't know where the frogs went. They blended into the school. They disappeared, and I did not get in trouble. It's one of the few times in that school that I did not get in trouble. I got in trouble in that school for things I didn't do. You know, it's like they would just say, yeah, it must be you. So that's the one time I escaped getting in trouble. Otherwise, I probably would have had detention on top of detention. So I never did that again. And now I know that frogs are ready to escape. So you lock them in there, and then you open that box up, they're going to be jumping out. So that's what happened. And those girls, loud screams. I don't know. So there's been quite a few times in my life when I've been 100% innocent. I've been accused, and I've taken punishment for things I haven't done. That's life. Nothing you can do about that. If somebody thinks you've done something, very difficult to convince them otherwise. Very difficult. I'll give you an example. 5th grade again, we were coming back from a field trip. So this is on the way back to the school. And I was sitting on the right-hand side, middle part of the bus, and there was a kid in front of me, and he was a bit of a troublemaker also. And The teacher was sitting right across from me, diagonally across, so his back was to me. And this kid that was sitting in front of me made a paper airplane and flew it, and the windows were open on the bus, and the airplane went out the window. Immediately the teacher turns and sees the both of us there, and he says, "You and you, after school today." So we sat there after school, and that kid would not admit it was him who did that airplane thing. He wouldn't admit it. And the teacher was like, "Nobody's going home unless you admit who did this." And we were there for like over a half hour. He was not budging, the teacher was not budging, and eventually we asked, "Can we go to the bathroom?" So he said, "Yeah, go to the bathroom." So we went to the bathroom. While we're walking down the aisle outside the hallway, I turned to him and I said, "I know you did it, you know you did it, but you're afraid to say you did it, so I'm going to say I did it. That way we can go home." And we went to the bathroom, came back, sat down, and I said, "I did it," even though I didn't do it. And that kid said nothing, and I ended up getting like 5 detentions from that. So the worst thing that can happen is to be punished for something you didn't do, or be accused of something you didn't do. That's the worst thing. The worst thing. So anyway, that's what happened. To me, I knew he did it because he sat in front of me. So I saw him. But the teacher had no idea, because the teacher was kind of looking different angle, didn't see it. But anyway, I took the fall for that. And yeah, there's been a few times like that.